Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. June 16th, Glenn Cunningham. Our story today is about a man who had the courage and the drive of a lion. On this date in 1934, Glenn Cunningham set the world record for the outdoor mile. 4 years later, he set the world record for the indoor mile. Wait until you hear how he got started.
When tragedy strikes, triumph starts between your ears. Glenn won races, but he never should have been able to walk. Inside the old schoolhouse, his brother Floyd stoked the large pot-bellied stove. Despite the February snow, his sister Letha played outside, and their younger brother Raymond was drawing on the blackboard. Mr. Schroeder had left the front door locked and kept the key, but anyone could get in through the side door, which only opened from the outside. Floyd was arranging the coal chunks on top of the wood. He reached over to get the 5-gallon can of kerosene that was kept nearby to get the fire started. He started to pour it onto the stove. Then everything blew up. Apparently, at a community meeting the night before, someone had left a can of gasoline they had used to fill lanterns before they went home. Floyd accidentally picked up the gas can. Flames engulfed Glenn's legs. Smoke filled his lungs. Glenn and his siblings stumbled toward home, but remembered that their mother had spent the night with a neighbor and that their father had gone to bring her home. Glenn fought fear and agony. He said, "I remember screaming and not being able to stop, even when my parents and eventually the doctor arrived." The doctor held out no hope for Floyd. He was too badly burned. But Glenn trusted God. He had nothing else to lean on. We had attended church revivals and home Bible studies. In fact, I had become a Christian at one of those home meetings. Several days later, Floyd was humming his favorite song. He actually said the words to the chorus, the first actual words I had heard since the explosion. He finished the last lines of his favorite song, "Meet, meet at Jesus' feet." Then he took my mom's hand and pressed it to his face. 9 days later, Floyd died. Tragedy defined Glenn. Pain became his ally. Glenn said, "The doctor told my parents that I might live unless there was too bad of an infection that set in. If the infection gets too bad," he told my parents, "we won't have any choice but to amputate. Regardless, Glenn will never be able to walk on those legs. They're just too badly burned." Infection spread. Glenn overheard a woman tell his mother, "Face reality. The boy would be an invalid for life." Glenn promised his mother, "I will walk again." At first, he scooted a chair around the kitchen. He ventured outside to hobble along a fence. He did chores until he could work no more. He refused to give up. He thrived on the challenge. On Christmas Eve, he gave his mother a present, his first unaided steps. Glenn kept on keeping on, kept walking until he could run, kept running until he became a champion. He set the world record for the outdoor mile. Glenn posted a personal best time of 4 minutes and 4 seconds in the mile in 1938, 14 years before Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute barrier. After his running career at Cunningham Youth Ranch, Glenn taught some 8,000 children to never give up. Each is lovable in his own way. Glenn said of the children sent to him by parents, social workers, or juvenile courts, all are equally precious. God has granted Ruth and I 8,000 miracles, and we are humbly grateful. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to this life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race that God has set before us. Your losses may seem impossible to overcome. Keep fighting. Work hard to win the battle in your mind. When tragedy strikes, triumph starts between your ears.
Thank you for listening to today's story. Every day of the year, our hope is to inspire you with real-life stories of faithful men who have gone before us. Hebrews 12:1 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." Join us tomorrow for another story at 365christianmen.com.